Hi, I'm Nikita. I'm a senior learning and development partner at Marston's. I have been with the company on and off for 16 years, grown through pubs, started as a waitress, and now one of the youngest female senior partners here at Marston's. HR partners, should I say.
Killing it.
Thank you.
I love that journey from kind of working as a server and working your way up through the ranks and getting to where you want to be. I imagine that's given you a really useful insight into what it takes.
Yeah, absolutely. Like everything I do is for the people in the business, and I lead my team and everybody around me with that same mentality that it's the person in the pub that needs to benefit from whatever we're doing. It's not led by senior stakeholders, which I might get in trouble for saying, but it's not led necessarily by senior stakeholders. It's about our people.
I mean, I'd like to think that those senior stakeholders know that.
Yeah,
whether they want it, I'd like to think that they know it is the answer.
They are definitely our supporters.
I love that. I think that makes a massive difference to making your life when it comes to kind of putting in those programs to develop and really kind of grow those people. And we talked about, Jamie just said something, and like development doesn't always have to equal progression. That was a really interesting idea and a really interesting line. So when we're talking about kind of the L&D offer in Marston's, it's kind of changed, it's progressed, it's developed. So talk me through it. Where did it start? And what was the trigger point for you to say we need to start doing something a little bit differently?
I don't think anyone that comes into this room and has a conversation with you wouldn't say that COVID was the catalyst. We're a blue collar traditional pub company. Prior to the pandemic, we were a brewing company as well. We have since parted with the brewing company and are now a traditional pub company, but the needs of the business moved on quite rapidly and we weren't set up for it. We obviously had partnered with what was CPL at the time, and we had a bespoke system, should I say, that was purposely built for Marston's. It was, 10 iterations behind where it needed to be. It was known within our business as the e-learning platform. It wasn't known for anything else. So when my boss rang me 3 years ago and said, "Do you fancy taking on a challenge and becoming, a digital partner?" I was like, "I can't open an Excel spreadsheet, but yeah, okay, let's have a go." And with that journey, we looked at the campus platform and we worked really hard to bring that up to where it needed to be. And then following that, we also partnered with a game-based training partner called Acess. And between the two, we managed to bring our teams, so we're a 12,000 employee strong company. We managed to bring them back safely with a bit of kindness wrapped around it as well. So, and that was always my mentality when it came to COVID. That's what projected us really in that space.
So what was it that made you want to go down the gamification route? Because in the last few years, it's definitely been it was a buzzword for a while, I'm going to say. And I think some people did it really, really well, and some people less so. What was it made you want to go down that route?
I guess our reputation from a digital point of view before, because we were so far behind on the platform, our reputation in the business wasn't great. I think people associated digital training or the solution behind it in line with compliance, and it wasn't exciting, it wasn't innovating. Whilst we were doing a lot of work on the platform to bring it up to scratch, that connotation around it was still followed us. With gamification, we did a trial and we were able to demonstrate return on investment straight back into our tills, which was incredible. Probably the first time that we've ever kind of looked at that analytics and really been able to demonstrate the training that we provided our teams have directly influenced either our guest measures or our sales. So that allowed us to sign the contract and move into the gamification space. Now, if the reason I believe that there's a space for both platforms is our LMS platform, our campus platform with Acess is so much more than an e-learning platform now. It provides so much self-directed learning, areas of growth and opportunity. It creates a growth mindset, but our game-based platform allows us to talk regularly every month for 15 minutes about sales and about how we're going to achieve those sales and how we're going to influence our guests and how we're going to better serve our guests and put them at the heart of everything that we do. whilst having some really good leaderboards and having some really good recognition centred around that as well.
I love that, and I think there is this thing, isn't there, kind of historically, when people think kind of e-learning, they do think compliance. And getting people to do compliance training is really difficult, I think. Yeah. My days as an operator, it was tough going. It was just like, dude, you've got to do that. We've got to be legal. No, just not really got me bothered. But actually kind of shifting that mindset into the fact that this is now about developing you. This is about growing you as an individual, rather than just ticking these boxes for us.
Absolutely.
It comes to a bit of it's a powerful moment, I think.
Yeah, couldn't disagree. I think, as I was talking to Jamie about earlier, we've used Campus platform or our pathways within the platform to our advantage. So we have just recently, as a business, released our D&I strategy. Like everybody, we're all on a journey with it. We've got 7 fantastic networks, and within those networks they had training tools, they had podcasts, they had loads of things they wanted to share, but they hadn't got anywhere to share it or to help people learn more about what it's like to be a woman within Marston's or what it's like to be a part of our Pride network. So we built a pathway on Campus that has allowed us to host all of that material. And since we've done that through 4 of our self-directed learning modules, we've actually had 21,000 completions.
Wow.
We don't pay people to do those modules at all. It's optional. We don't force it. We encourage through great comms, and we pull out certain messaging on certain months aligned to an inclusion calendar. But outside of that, it's up to them. It's at their fingertips, and they choose to complete that. And we're really proud to say that 21,000 people over a 12-month period have opted to do some self-directed learning in a space that, can be still a little bit taboo or still a little bit tricky to talk about. And then on top of that, we've got the Discover section on Campus, which, to be honest, we've only really, whilst it's been there for about 12 months, we've only really started to promote it over the last three to 6 months. And we've had, I think, nearly 4,000 either likes, interactions, shares, openings, downloads, whatever that looks like, through that as well. So again, that's all plugged by either yourself or my content team. Okay. And that allows us again to really see the shift in dynamic between pushed compliance-led training and people just wanting to learn a little bit more, whether that's about something they're passionate about or something to do with their current industry.
Well, I think, again, you touch on that. It's a really important point. So in one of my day jobs, I run a business called Atolo, and we did a survey across hospitality people, operators, and we were asking kind of Gen Z, what is most important to you in your working environment? We did it in association with HA UK. And 76% of them said that career development and personal development is absolutely integral to them. And if they don't get it, it's a decision maker for them, because they'll start to look elsewhere. So to be able to offer that and create that space for them to be able to do it around some of those tricky subjects, there's not some easy conversations in there.
No, not at all. I think the expectation of that generation is higher and definitely more demanding on the employer, and both platforms allow us to talk in a more fluid and more social way to all of our employees. And we're at a hospitality expo today. Most people who are watching this probably have the same type of demographic when it comes to the workforce. When you're looking at generally 16 to 18 year olds and then 18 to 30 year olds being our predominant workforce in our businesses, in our pub business, we need to talk to them in a way that they know how to talk. And they are the TikTok generation, they are the Facebook and the Instagrammers, they are the people that will, if you want to find out something now, I hope Google don't shout at me, but most of them aren't using Google anymore. Most of them are using TikTok as a search engine as opposed to Google now. And I think we're just constantly challenging ourselves, either through providers or through our own self-awareness or self-learning, to just keep up with those trends and give them exactly what they need as an employer, which is quite hard, in a traditional pub-based company where we've had to dial up in 3 years. We haven't had, this hasn't been a 10-year journey for us. This has been, we need to get something done and done quickly.
That's a lot of pressure. How have you managed that?
I have no idea. Sleepless nights. I've got a great team behind me. Our partnerships are absolutely incredible. And I think both partners understand our business and understand our team. So they're constantly knocking my door to say, oh, we've got this solution, or we've got this great content, are you happy for us to release it? And then that allows my team to really get into the nitty-gritty of our business and how we can maximise that training opportunity there. So I think through great partnership providers, through having a really strong team internally, and I think having adoption and support from your stakeholders, whether that's your CEO or whether that is the cleaner in your business, from both ends of the spectrum, you need the buy-in and you need the support and you need the want to drive the platform. So that's how I've done it. And a couple of Prosecco's on the way, I suppose.
It helps, I'll be honest with you, but I think getting that buy-in makes the world of difference. And again, in my day-to-day work, we delivered an award ceremony last week called the Oprahs, and there was a lady called Olga who she looks after the uniform department in the Ned Hotel, and she won the Unsung Hero award, which is amazing. And this lady, she's never been confident, she's never been kind of out there demanding and pushing for progression. Yeah. But after she's won that award, the first conversation she had with her manager is, I want to progress now, I want to be developed. And that's kind of what we're in it for, isn't it? It's to inspire that feeling of actually, whatever I'm capable of, I'd like to see where it can go. Yeah. And it's a powerful feeling.
Absolutely. I think clear progression is the key. I think, even previously, before the pandemic, I don't think we really shouted about the opportunities that are within hospitality. And do you know what? If you want to be a line chef and that is what you want to do, that is absolutely fine. But you could be an expert in grilling, you could be an expert in fish. There are so many offsets that mean you don't have to take that linear career pathway. You can spread out and learn more and just be a real expert in your role. And then when the time's right for you or the space is right, then you can progress, because there are other areas of opportunity. And hospitality, I'm a true believer that the world is your oyster, quite literally, with hospitality. You can take it anywhere in this world and you can make something of yourself. And it's really hard to break down some of those myths and barriers, I think, that the UK face with hospitality. If you go to Australia or New Zealand, it's it's a career, you've got degrees and masters attached to it.
In Australia, baristas are seen as being absolute legends.
Absolutely. And do you know what, they are here? I just don't think they get the same level of recognition. And I'm on a one-woman mission to kind of do that as well throughout Marston's, making sure that everybody's recognised and know that they've got a level of opportunity with us, and whether that's digital. And I would like to say we've got a fantastic L&D team that are skills-based trainers or learning and development. If it's not through digital learning, it will be through some of those other key initiatives that they drive as well. And
that's it, isn't it? It's kind of finding that cross-section and finding what hits for the individual. I think you kind of touched on it earlier. People are all very different, and some folks, digital learning is the answer. That's where they're going to get most from. They can sit on their bus, they can do their thing, they can learn, take on board the information. Other people want to be in the room and want to have those conversations. So having that full offer, that full suite, is kind of the key, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really proud of that at Marston's. I like our hybrid approach, and we all work really closely together to come up with the right solution for the right person or people at the right time.
Love it. So, I guess last question. What's coming up? You've been on a big change. You've kind of been on a big journey. What's next? What's the exciting thing that you're working on?
I feel like I'm going to sell my soul to another provider at some point.
We've all been there.
Yeah. What's coming up? I don't know. I said earlier to Jamie, I think AI is going to play a massive part. I think for us personally, AI with our two providers, from a back-end point of view, so a content creator point of view, that's going to be really prevalent in how we develop efficiently and effectively. Because we're not in a space where we can add extra headcount all the time, or spend more money on physical people. So I think AI is going to play a massive part in how quickly we turn around that content and how well we do it as well. I think from a front-end user point of view, in the next 12 months, I think we'll see that AI coming out for the learner. And whether that is a simulated conversation with AI sat behind it in a coaching, mentoring space, or that is an avatar talking to somebody about why guest service is so important to us at Marston's. Again, with digital, who knows what's around the corner? I have absolutely no idea.
Exciting, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think if you'd have told me 12 months ago that I'd have been sat here today, I would have laughed at you. I'd have been like, we're just dabbling in some gamification, and our offer is ramping up very quickly with weeks and days between new development opportunities or new functionality.
Nikita, it's been absolutely lovely.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
You've kind of given me a bit of fuel for my fire now. I think it seems like there's some great stuff happening in this pub business, and as a man who started out running pubs, it kind of makes me happy that they're still evolving and still moving forward.
Always. Told you, one woman mission to make it the most viable sector.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
No worries.
Lovely talking.
Thank you.